Hi there. Welcome to Productivi-Tree. I'm Santi Tacoronte, and I'm here to help you succeed and be happier. In each episode, we'll explore new ways to work smarter, manage your time better, and grow as a person. We'll share fresh ideas, find ways to improve, and help you become your best self at work, in life. Join me as we learn and grow together on Productivi-Tree. If you're into data, productivity, and working smarter, not harder, check out my newsletter, Cut the Hype, Cash the Data. Every week I send you quick tips, tools, and insights you can actually use. No fluff, just results. Sign up in 10 seconds at santiagotacoronte.substack.com. That is santiagotacoronte.substack.com. Ivona Hershey is a visibility strategy, LinkedIn mentor, and personal branding powerhouse. With a background in digital marketing and years of coaching entrepreneurs and leaders, Ivona specializes in helping people clarify their message, own their voice, and build personal brands rooted in authenticity and confidence. Whether it's on stage, online, or in everyday business conversations, she believes the way we communicate shapes the opportunities we attract. Her mission is simple but powerful. Help people stop playing small, start standing out, and communicate in a way that actually moves people and careers forward. Hi, Ivona, and welcome to Productivi-Tree.
Hi, Santi. Thank you for having me.
You've been writing on LinkedIn almost daily since 2022.
That's correct.
What is the biggest shift you have seen in how people use the platform?
So the biggest shift is that there is a lot more people now, which is good, but also bad because obviously you need to work on your hooks, on your attention. So it's a lot more crowded nowadays.
Why do you think LinkedIn has become this so popular and race for attention instead of what originally it was, which was a professional networking site?
I still believe that it is a professional network for people just to hang out and to have the profile on. That hasn't changed really. However, what changed is that a lot more content creators came in and they saw the potential. So back the time when it was founded, it was really just your resume. But then you had the opportunity to post. And when you have the posting option and you have content creators and you have a whole influencer culture, then you can expect that it changed tremendously. So what is interesting is that a lot more people saw the opportunity and came in, meaning that they started to teach people how to write. They had all the culture about now you should build your brand, now you should show what kind of professional you are, because that is what is going to be important for your career and so on. And when you have a lot of people telling you this every day, then obviously people say, oh, maybe I should post too. Maybe I should work on my LinkedIn too. And as you said, LinkedIn is huge and a lot more people are now feel the pressure to actually post these days.
Related to that, a lot of people say that LinkedIn these days sucks. Did it suck before? Does it suck now because all these content influencers that are coming in and much more volume of postings and videos?
Oh, I don't believe that LinkedIn sucks, but obviously you have to filter what you see. So if you think social media, so there's a lot more fake profiles, for instance, a lot more people who are trying to sell you something, and you just don't want that. You kind of resisting that. And when the network is so huge, as LinkedIn is growing every single day, then obviously a lot of scammers and a lot of low quality content will inevitably appear. So I know for sure that some people are really using just artificial intelligence to write you messages, to write the content, even write the comments, and it's becoming really frantic and you can see it immediately. So when you go and you just want to check what's happening on your network, you get all these influences, people are posting irrelevant stuff to you. You see some really basic content, you just feel, oh my God, should I laugh? Why do people post this? And then obviously you feel like, oh, it sucks. And there's loads of memes on LinkedIn. There's loads of videos which are really funny, showing, oh, this is the corporate culture. Oh, another person just posted, I'm so excited to join this company. And it just feels a bit fake. So to find the genuine content is quite a tricky stuff now for people. But it's possible. You just have to filter what you don't want to see.
Mm. You wrote about how LinkedIn now prioritizes quality over quantity.
Mhm.
What does quality content means in 2025?
So again, LinkedIn. So let's maybe talk a little bit about the mission and vision. So LinkedIn was here to build a professional network, to really connect all different people from all parts of the world and give them the opportunity to network, to grow their careers and so on. So the content goes in the direction. LinkedIn even has some internal system, some algorithm kind of system that is saying which content is low quality, what is scam, and what is the high quality content. So I'll give you an example. So the low quality or like the really scam type of posts are posts that are with bad grammar, probably now also AI generated, posts that are tagging a lot of people inside and just completely irrelevant stuff. For instance, even when you post a poll saying, oh, would you like a cake? Or would you like, are you breakfast or dinner person? Like this is irrelevant for what is LinkedIn trying to do. So that is one bucket of scam kind of a poor quality content. Then you have the average content, which is post that is meh. You read it and then you think, okay, what should I take out of it? Nothing. So those type of posts, they don't generate any engagement. They are just there and bother. So again, if you just post, oh, I broke my leg and this is the leadership piece of advice I took from the experience, it's probably not going to resonate too much. And then you have the last, which is the quality content, and it is easy to read. It is very well grammar-wise, so there are not that many mistakes. Obviously, mistakes are good, mistakes are human. That shows that you are doing it, but it shouldn't be really poorly written. Then the structure of the post should be well read. So really easy to follow, clear points, no jumping from huge paragraphs, but really something you read and you feel like, okay, this is interesting, I will react. So high quality content is showing some expertise, some piece of advice, and it triggers people to engage with it, to say what they feel about it, to say, oh, this is my experience, maybe I agree, I disagree with that, and so on.
Let's talk about that point on personal stories. I
Mhm.
broke my leg, you said.
Yes. Did you?
No, I didn't. A lot of people say, sorry, this is not Facebook. This is not relevant for LinkedIn. Yet, from personal experience, if you post a selfie or something personal, it gets much more engagement than if you post something interesting at a professional level.
Mhm.
Why is that? And where do we draw the line between what to post, what is LinkedIn content, and what is go post this in your WhatsApp or in Instagram?
That's a very good question, and I have a opinion about it, obviously. So I would say whatever you wouldn't say or show in the office, or whatever you wouldn't say to people you work with, then don't post it on LinkedIn. That would be one rule. Obviously, you can see that a lot of people are posting their babies, their dogs, selfies from toilets when they have some conference and so on. It's okay to do so, but then if you do it with every single post, it could be really weird and annoying. Why are you posting yourself so much? Like, you're just sitting at the table, you're at the toilet, you're drinking coffee. Yes, good, but do really people engage with that all the time? I don't believe so. They are rather annoyed, especially when you try to always present it like, oh, this is my big piece of advice because I am now at the toilet and having the leadership idea and so on. So I would be careful if the picture is really relevant to what you are trying to say. If it shows you, for instance, in action that you are at some interesting conference, or if you are at the meeting, or if you network, or if it just shows you getting ready for interview to like show you in some sort of action, but not just show you for showing you, if that makes sense. And regarding the personal stories, yes, for sure, do them because they make you human, then make you relatable. So when they see, oh, this is what happened to Ivona, that's interesting. Maybe they even reach out to ask, hey, how you are doing. However, I've seen so much content that was rather disturbing. I've seen a person who posted his dead baby, saying, "Oh, my wife had a difficult birth, and we just could say goodbye to our baby." And I find that it is such a disturbing experience and so personal that probably this doesn't belong to the professional website. Obviously, it's my opinion. If you want to post your happy wife, do so. But then don't present it overly as a huge learning for your career if it's not. If it's just, hey, I want to acknowledge I am in happy relationship, it's helping my mental health, that's fine. But overly making everything personal as good for your career probably doesn't work that well.
That sounds a bit horrifying to post a picture of.
It was, I can tell you, highly disturbing. Yeah.
This is a stacked question. Number one is, what post formats are succeeding in 2025? We have, we have carousels, we have pictures, we have videos. What worked?
Well, you basically set it all in. So for sure, carousels, meaning some sort of slide presentation in PDF format that you post and you have some condensed piece of knowledge. That works very well, especially if you have it nicely visually done. Then people are like, oh, okay, I can quickly scroll. Again, you scroll, no? So that's the whole idea. You go down and then you go horizontal. That's how you want people to stop with your content. So carousels for sure. You mentioned pictures. Yes, pictures could be interesting. I don't do pictures that much personally. I rather do infographics. So again, some striking visual that you can very quickly done yourself in Canva or some other app. Basically, you just put your thoughts together, make it visual, and again, it's a showstopper. Then people are likely to read the rest of the post. And you mentioned also video, so I would say video is quite good format as well, because LinkedIn is following all the social media trends. So video is huge on Instagram, on TikTok, so LinkedIn goes in that direction as well. So if you have time, record yourself. Here and there, it could be an interesting change, especially if you do just one type of post.
What about styles? Does style matter? We have the blunt, very direct post style. We have the story type. What works better?
It depends what you want to say. Like, why are you even want to post? So based on that, you need to decide what kind of emotion you want people to feel. So sometimes it's much better to deliver it when you record yourself. Sometimes it's better just to do the carousel in that way. So you should always think, why do I post this, or what people should take out of it? Sometimes when you have some lesson from communication, from business, whatever field you are in, the story makes so much more interesting case. So let me give you an example. One of my friends, she's a marketing specialist, and she always delivers very nice case studies. So she says, my client XY has this problem, and this is how we went around it. And she really tells the step by step in a relatable, easy to understand story. And it works very well for her. I have another friend and he does a lot of podcasts. And then he's always using snippets of podcasts with some interesting ideas. And it works for him. So find what you want to post, what people should take out of it, and choose the right format. Just experiment, I would say that's the best.
Ivona, you have said that hashtags are dead. I really like when I read that. And that
Yes.
formatting is king. Can you
Yes.
break down the new LinkedIn formatting rules that get the most engagement? And I want you specifically to answer something. Why does people leave so much space between sentences in LinkedIn?
So first of all, hashtags are dead. That built up a lot of controversy when I said that. Because obviously hashtags are not completely dead. They are still used for tracking the same content with the same hashtags. However, in the past, maybe you have seen it yourself, people were putting loads of them. Like hashtag communication, hashtag inclusivity, hashtag career, hashtag goals 2025, and so on. So that is dead. This format is for sure that. If you have some relevant stuff, let's say maybe communication XYZ, then you can put the hashtag directly in your text. That probably works better than to put it and stuck it at the end, tagging hundreds of people, begging them for reply and so on. So that don't do it. Just don't do it at all. And for the second part with the formatting, if you think how people use LinkedIn, they use it on the phones mostly. Therefore, your post shouldn't be really longer than the screen of the phone. If it's longer, okay, but then the formatting needs to be light, meaning you need to have the breakdowns, you need to have the bullet points so people can scan it, and go quite quickly through it. If you have a few seconds to engage, then if you write this big paragraph and you see it on your phone, then you might get a bit confused and say like, I'm not going to read that. Skip. So formatting is important. Like break your lines. Ideally, you write it as a post, then you take a look and you think, oh, what I can still delete? Where do I repeat myself? So just really shred it to the bone with the key ideas. Maybe just use the bullet points if that works for your post, and make it sleek and kind of sexy for the phone screen.
We have already discussed a couple of times controversy, and it's a sticky point because controversy brings engagement. I guess that this is why people write controversial posts. So how can someone be controversial without damaging their own reputation?
Mhm. I like your question because it is a very classic question about how can I drive that engagement? How can I spotlight myself without really doing it in a negative way? So controversy doesn't have to be controversial. So I'll give you an example. In my recent post, I was accidentally controversial because I wrote a post about why people should say a bit more yes. And the direction of the post was that you should try to get rid of your assumption, and you should even open your mind and work with people you usually don't do. However, people who read it, they twisted and they rather replied, oh, no, 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 this is wrong because you should learn to say no. And they gave a lot of good tactics how to be assertive. So you see, it was a bit controversial to say, oh, people should be more agreeing and should maybe open their mind to say yes, but actually people said no, this is wrong, and that's subtle controversy, sorry, but in fact, it's actually raising the discussion and kind of open door for multiple different professionals to express their ideas. So if you think how you should drive the engagement, you shouldn't really think, oh, this is general truth, and I'll say something completely opposite because it's controversy. Don't think in that direction. I would rather say, well, maybe this is true for our field that people don't usually talk about openly, but it's not damaging to say, to mention how is it, for instance, in content creation, how is it in marketing, what is happening with AI implementation, what people don't speak about. So, and I maybe one example, one more. So if you say AI is useful, AI is helping people to automate the processes, but AI is also, for instance, making people laid back. So they are completely tired of the repetitive work. They maybe do the bare minimum because they feel like AI will do the job for them. So that might be a little bit controversy because you say, oh, okay, so people actually become lazy when they have the AI tools, but the discussion could be interesting. So speak about what people don't usually talk that much about, but again, you could have open conversation with your boss, with your colleagues about it. So again, nothing damaging, rather maybe a little bit of playing devil's advocate in that direction.
You said that the platform is flooded with AI generated content. It's
Yes.
easy, it's super simple.
Yes.
Um, so how can professionals differentiate themselves from AI written content, and what is the value of doing this? Right? A lot of people think that, all right, I'll post this from AI and I get a post out there. Does it have value? How can you differentiate yourself and be someone that generates engagement?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so you can see AI generated posts straight away because they're all the same. They all use a lot of like a little flags and a lot of emoticons, and it's just too simple. It doesn't have such a deep, usually story behind it. Obviously, AI is also improving, so it's getting better and better. And sometimes you even wouldn't said that it was AI. However, I would say try to post a couple of times on LinkedIn, maybe say, I will post for 1-2 months, and you will see how your voice will develop. So you're not searching for perfection, but you search for how you speak. So for instance, now we are talking, and probably how we talk, this is how we would write on LinkedIn. So you don't have to go too much around it to say, oh, how should I write the best? You don't have to copy people. You can just really write as you speak about things. That would probably be my best advice, because you immediately connect with those type of voices. You see which stories or which messages are really written by real people, because also the language is maybe a bit more approachable than formal, like AI is pushing. Even, of course, you can say, hey, write it in a cool, sleek slang. You can do so. But then I would always take a look how it sounds, and if it's at least, related to how you speak, because otherwise it will be super weird, especially for people who know you. They would say, "Oh, Santi wrote such post. Okay. I didn't know that he's such a such a writer or such a, um, poet, maybe, if it would be more like a
Yeah.
poetry."
Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you something that's I found funny. I I work in a large company, and a lot of people that used to write very basic English emails now suddenly are writing like if they're Shakespeare in their emails.
Yes.
I read it and I'm like, what has happened here? So it's a very good, interesting point. Listen, what? Give us a strategy. Give us a tip for writing a strong LinkedIn hook that stops people from scrolling. Something that people say,
Mhm. Keep it short. So that would be my best tip for how you do the hooks. So if you want to talk about any topic, write your post and write several hooks and try to really shred it again to the bone. So if the post is about, so I write a lot about leadership. So if the post is about why talking bad about your boss is bad, then just make it a question. Say, do you complain about your boss? Or if the post is about leadership styles, then my hook would be, what's the best leadership style? Using question plus some maybe very short statement, I think it works the best. And really people get the information, they see, oh, okay, interesting. Maybe they will take a look, or maybe they take a look at the visual. So it depends how much you catch their attention. But hook should always be short. Because whenever you do over 2 lines, then on the phone, it's already looking hefty, and you don't want that. So keep it really narrow.
let's move a bit towards the networking part of LinkedIn. What do you think is the biggest mistake professionals make when trying to network on LinkedIn?
The biggest mistake is trying to connect with random people. Why would you do so? Like, just because people are on the platform, it doesn't mean that they are your friends or connections. So just hitting connect, 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 connect. It's silly. Why would you do so? People don't know you. And even if they are maybe the same type of job, that accountant, she's an accountant, let's connect. Why? Like, what's the purpose of that? Especially if there is no, like, we studied at the same school or we are taking the same course, then I don't see the reason why people accept the connection. So don't be random, rather be intentional. So intention means you first start with people you know, then people you know from, for instance, work, school, courses, people who might be in similar situation like you. They, for instance, take the same content creation course, or you just see that they are posting interesting stuff and you want to learn from them. So then you can obviously just text them, hey, this is interesting. Can I get more information? And then you already show that you might be in the same boat, rather than just randomly say, oh, he's having 50,000 connections, hit connect. That doesn't work.
And then how do you ask for opportunities, jobs, gigs, collaborations? Like, for example, I didn't know you and I sent you an invite because I wanted to interview you. How do you approach this type of targeting connections that you want to be acquainted to?
Mhm. So my strategy is to build some relationship first. So I don't do it randomly. I see if person has some content that is interesting for me, or if we work in a similar field. And obviously, then the conversation is much easier to start, because you just say, oh, we both are in here. What's your opinion about this? Or you can support the content. So you just follow what people are posting, if they post, obviously. And you just show that they are genuinely interested in that person. When person doesn't really post, then you have to go directly in the messages. And there again, you should craft it to show that at least you check the profile that, aha, you are coach, aha, you are IT project manager. So just show a little bit of knowledge about that person and also give them clear reason why you want to connect. So is it just to expand your professional network? But it shouldn't be just let's connect, but to say, hey, we are in the same field, we might both live in the same town, maybe we can have a coffee and discuss this. So I find that when you have that sort of relationship or interests, people are likely to respond positively and they start a conversation rather when you just say, hey, do you want the content creator? Hey, do you want to be in this podcast? So make some effort first and then people probably will respond. Sometimes not, it depends.
Ivona, what about DMs, direct messages? I have the feeling they're becoming the new spam phone
They
calls.
are. Mhm.
You know, I receive hundreds every day from every kind of random things. How do you use DMs effectively?
Yeah, again, depends for what you want to use the DMs. If it's networking, then I can imagine you again are in touch with people you care and people who can be helpful for your career, or you can be helpful for them. So then you really separate those from, hey, I'm selling this. Are you interested? Or hey, do you want the virtual assistant services? Or hey, I see you do the podcast. I can do the podcast for you. So it's a big trouble. I don't check my DMs too much because, as you said, they're flooded with scams and selling, and it's annoying. And I just go there here and there to catch up with a couple of people I'm in touch regularly on LinkedIn and reply to them. And the others, I don't really reply. So I'm bad at that. I just choose not to waste the time. Yeah.
Let's try to bust a few myths around LinkedIn. What is a common LinkedIn hack that just doesn't work anymore?
There would be loads of them. But probably the hack, I would say, is to post a lot. So in the past, people said you have to show up all the time, you have to repost your stuff. And there was a huge stress on quantity. These days, I wouldn't say quantity doesn't really matter because algorithm is tagging your post in that scam, low quality. And if you repost it, you won't get better if it's still bad. So if someone is telling you something, go out there and post 3 times a day. You're not going to get better results, really. So rather focus maybe on what is really in your reach. If you can post once a week, just do once a week. If you can post twice a week, do twice a week. But don't try to push it and be forced like, oh, I have to do it every day. Because then you will burn out as a content creator. You just don't know what you should speak about. And then you are really like, oh, Friday, what should I post? And you spend 1 hour trying to craft some post, which will eventually suck. So do consistent quality posts instead of quantity.
On the same lines, there is a trend of people that is trying to go viral on LinkedIn. It's going viral useful, or people should focus on something else?
I wonder what you mean by something else. But as it comes with any viral post, I don't believe it will bring you what you try to achieve on LinkedIn. So again, it comes down to what is your goal? Is it to build some meaningful connections because your career might develop in certain direction? Is it to build your professional brand, which means you have loads of followers and that will give you some credibility that you can post consistently and so on? So really, what do you try to do on LinkedIn? You don't have to follow what others are doing, really. And the big trouble I find is that people are just posting for the sake of posting. And that's just wrong. Like quality means you say something which will interest your network, something that they can learn, something that people relate to. And if you don't do it and you just post the generic stuff, the general truth all the time, like, oh, mental health is important. Yes, it is. So what? What should I take out of it? Or hire people for attitude, not for CV. Great. Yes, I like it. But again, so what? So be mindful what you're trying to trying to achieve all the time? Like, why are you posting? That is the biggest question I find people neglect.
You hinted that there is a FOMO, a fear of missing out, for professionals that are not posting in LinkedIn. What is people missing? What benefits are people missing for not being active in LinkedIn?
Oh, that's an interesting question. What they are missing? So
Or what they're
well,
gaining?
it's both, no? So if you don't post, you probably miss those interesting conversations that sometimes you can have, because a lot of professionals, they work alone. So they are self-employed, or they have very small businesses, and it could be quite lonely. So those little conversations that you can have on the platform could show that you are part of some bigger picture, that you're not alone, that simply you have some people to talk to. Obviously, you can go to networking events, but we know how it is with networking events. Not all the time people attend, not all interesting people are there. So I would say that LinkedIn can give you some more professional sense of belongings to certain field in that sense, especially if you work alone. What you definitely don't miss if you don't post on LinkedIn, well, you don't waste time, because it can feel like you're wasting time quite a bit. So in the past, it was quite easy to post, and you got loads of engagement, and you get that feeling like, okay, I get a lot of likes, my posts are great, and you just get a lot of affirmation. Nowadays, no, nowadays it's not like that. You don't get that much engagement. You get just a couple of likes. So then you feel, oh, I suck, I should write more. And then you take expensive courses. So you miss time, you miss money, and maybe the result is not exactly what you wanted at the first place. So again, what is your goal? What you're trying to do? Is content creation or some ghostwriting on LinkedIn that you're trying to sell? Then that's a different strategy for people who just want to keep it as some professional resume that you can easily apply. Now you have the option to easily apply for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That is another good strategy why people are still on LinkedIn, although a lot of them say, yeah, LinkedIn sucks.
Hmm. Let's take a couple of them on job hunting via LinkedIn.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
are common profile mistakes that instantly hurt profile credibility?
Mhm. Definitely unfinished profile. So when you have the profile, try to keep it as full as possible. So have picture, ideally professional picture. Nowadays, you can quickly create some banner saying this is the field I work in. Just put another picture or some like abstract picture. It will make it look more professional. Then you have the description of who you are, what you do, so you can put some value that you are creating. And then all the parts, it could be short, but it could be filled, because then the LinkedIn profile is looking, okay, this is a real person who is not trying to scam me, but who has some experience, who studied, who did some maybe pro bono work. Even when you have a couple of recommendations from colleagues, you can directly have it inside, and it's looking much more cohesive than when you have unfinished profile saying just, oh, I'm executive assistant in no-name company. There's not even existing company on LinkedIn. Or when you write, oh, I'm a leadership coach, but then you scroll down and you actually find out that the person is working in completely different position. So you feel like, oh, that's weird. So keep it to what you are. Sure, you can have it aspirational. Sure, in your descriptions, you can say, I'm trying to get a job in this field. I'm trying to get a job in that position. That's fine. Aspirations are fine, but they should be based on real experience and not to make it better than it is.
How effective is LinkedIn for getting a job? See, some say that you rarely get hired directly from LinkedIn. So, how much is good for, uh, although there are a lot of headhunters and recruiters there in LinkedIn, how much is good LinkedIn for direct recruiting versus hidden market or networking that could end up in the future in someone being interested in your profile and getting hired?
I think it's changing quite a bit. So I've met a couple of headhunters who are only using LinkedIn. So they don't do anything else. They just browse the network. They have the premium account. Obviously, you need the access to all the profiles, but it can really result in positive experience. couple of friends, they work in IT and they get loads of messages all the time. Hey, do you want to work with us? Hey, we might have interesting position. So it depends on position, I suppose. Also for people who work, for instance, in coaching. Could be interesting because people try to type "oh coach" and they see a couple of coaches in the area. So it could work as an interesting search engine for people who actually do the job that you search. For you as a job seeker, the situation is a bit different. So you obviously have the option to go to job board and to search open positions and easy apply. That's convenient because you don't usually have to do the letter or you don't have to send the PDF CV and so on. But you can also go directly to certain company and find some maybe HR person or even person on the same position and ask a couple of questions saying like, hey, Santi, I want to work in the same company. How can I do that? Or what do I need to do? So you can try to network in the direction and you could succeed. Obviously, it takes some effort, but it's probably much better to go directly to someone than just to apply to random companies. But again, you need to be selective, you need to do the research, you need to do your homework to use network sufficiently and effectively, actually, on LinkedIn.
Let's do some rapid fire questions. You
Mhm.
answer in less than 30 seconds. Number one,
Okay, I'll try.
what is the number one mistake people make in their LinkedIn headlines?
Number one mistake on LinkedIn headlines is you keep it, I work as assistant at X and Y company. There is no value in it. It's just very generic. Everyone who's interested in you will see it anyway on your CV and the list of positions. So make it a little bit more about you. What do you do? What is the value? How can you help them? It's much nicer and it distinguishes you from the other people.
Number two, if someone wants to improve their LinkedIn presence today, what's the first thing they should do?
Complete the profile, people. Make it nice, make it sexy, make it about you. Really write your story, put all the relevant jobs. Don't try to make it or fake it, Just make it about you and be really true about what have you been doing and what you want to do. You can put the aspirations as we discussed earlier.
Number three, what's one good type of content that works for personal stories or industry insights?
Mm-hmm. So I would say infographics. So infographics works miraculously all the time. So if you do some really short post about successes or failures and you add maybe some journey, you add a couple of icons, it usually catches the attention and it works generally for anything.
What is an overused sentence or language that people use in their LinkedIn posts?
So I think this one is about follow me for XYZ. So when you have the post and at the end, you have the breaking line saying, oh, I'm Santi from XYZ. I am this professional XYZ. Follow me for XYZ. It's just so repetitive. And I noticed that people started doing it and they still doing it. And it's just useless. Why would you introduce yourself in every single post? Everyone sees what you're posting. They can check your profile. So just don't prolong the post necessarily.
Well, it seems I have some work to do there. Number five, what's the worst LinkedIn advice you've ever heard?
That would be my least favorite. 100 comments a day. It's such a waste of time to write so many comments. Like, do you really have that much time? Couldn't you, spend it a bit more efficiently? And anyway, you will repeat yourself or you will use AI and it's just useless. So that's not healthy engagement. Just write comments to a couple of people you really like and you can learn from. And nonsensely writing 100 comments just for the sake of commenting. It was really stupid. Oh.
If listeners can take away just one lesson from this episode and from you, what would it be? What do you want people to take away from this conversation?
I want people to realize that LinkedIn is professional network. So all the conversation should be professional as well as the profile. So keep it real, keep it to the point. If you have the profile, fill it with true informations, put your picture, which is actually your actual picture, not a picture, 10 or 15 years ago. And when you post and when you do the content, keep it quality. Keep it true to your expertise. Keep it, knowledgeable. Show that what are you writing about is what you believe and make sense in the field you are in, because this is how LinkedIn will promote your content and you will get the best results.
Ivona, how can people find you in LinkedIn? How can people avail your services in communication and improving LinkedIn for executives and other people that want to improve their presence in the most important professional network?
Yes, find me on LinkedIn. It's easy, Ivona Hirschi. You can check my website, which is ivonahirschi.com, or you can also find me on Substack. I have the publication Leading, where I send weekly newsletter.
Very good. Ivona, thank you so much for this session, this interview packed with insights. I do have a lot of work to do. I guess that a lot of people that listens to this podcast also have to go to the LinkedIn right away, delete a few things, add a few things, complete these profiles. Loved your structure approach. Thank you so much for being with us and wishing you all the best.
Thank you for having me and good luck with LinkedIn. Goodbye.
Thank you. If you're into data, productivity, and working smarter, not harder, check out my newsletter, Cut the Hype, Cash the Data. Every week I send you quick tips, tools, and insights you can actually use. No fluff, just results. Sign up in 10 seconds at santiagotacoronte.substack.com. That is santiagotacoronte.substack.com. Thanks for listening to Productivi-Tree. I hope you found something useful in today's episode. If you did, and it helps improve your life even a tiny bit, that'll make me really happy. Remember, you can find Productivi-Tree on all major podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. If you enjoyed the show, why not share it with a friend who might also find it helpful? Until next time, and keep growing and stay productive.